we had an NBA legend, love him or hate him, get swept out of the playoffs recently. Granted, he was without his really the best player on his team, Luka Doncic, and he was facing the odds-on favorites to be NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, of course. So not too much of a surprise here, but this is a year where LeBron could have some movement in the offseason. I think some of that maybe is up in the air because Bronny is also in a Lakers uniform as we speak. But guys, I just wanted to openly ask, LeBron had his post-game press conference. Lakers are eliminated if you have been under a rock. And he kind of said the same sorts of things he said in years past that, hey, I'm going to go home. This is fresh. I'm going to spend some time with my family and then decide on next steps. Curious if you guys have any sort of just inclination, intuition about what LeBron's next move is going to be. Allan, I'll go ahead and lead with you this time around.
Yeah, I know there's been speculation about him going to another team or whatnot, but I think if he plays next year, it'll be in a Lakers uniform. I don't see him going anywhere else, and not just because of Bronny. I think he chose LA. He wants to be in LA, and I don't think he knows yet whether or not he's coming back next year or not. But he's a highly competitive dude, and I think this season looks like a bit of a disappointment because of the injuries. And so, something in the back of his mind's got to be saying, like, if Luke is healthy, if Austin is fully healthy, if we build the right pieces around this, we could make some noise. So I if I had to bet, I'd say I bet on him being back and he'll be in the Lakers uniform.
That is fascinating because I don't know if the feeling is mutual between him and Lakers management having him return. I guess a lot of that you're talking, what is the money going to look like in that breakdown? So we might circle back on that. But Justin, I'll go to you. What are you thinking as far as the future for LeBron? Is it, is it really unlikely, like it seems, that he's going to go out on that note, kind of being swept in the playoffs this way?
Yeah. I heard a lot of conjecture he doesn't want the retirement tour. I don't really buy that, especially with his ego.
Yeah.
Like, for him just to retire just in his off season, I just be supremely shocked. I'm with Allan. I think he stays at least until Bryce gets into the league. I mean, you wanted to play with Bronny. Bryce redshirted at Arizona, so I'm sure there's just a few years. And I mean, you know how it went down with Bronny, so I'm sure with Bryce he can get into the league somehow and pull that off and playing with both his sons. I think that's pretty realistic to me. So I would say at least he's got 2 more years. I would say worst case scenario. But you're right, man. I mean, that's on LeBron's side if things go well. I mean, it takes 2 to tango. So you're exactly correct in terms of we talked to so many journalists that it's been a rocky relationship, and you could see the Lakers want to break up with him. If this is a romantic relationship, I would say the Lakers are probably looking for separation at this point, considering everything that's gone down. But we'll see. The thing is, do they have the guts to do it? I mean, that's a pretty gutsy move to get rid of LeBron, not give him what he wants. Considering if you do that, that's a big chunk of their future, their immediate future, within the next couple of years. And again, he made the Lakers relevant when Luka was gone. So if they do decide to part ways and Luka gets hurt, I mean, this is a terrible basketball team. I mean, without those 2 on there, as good as Austin Reaves is. So, I mean, that's going to be a gutsy decision if they want to move from LeBron, putting everything on Luka. It's a bold move.
Oh, I think if they want to be in the hunt for titles, that's what they have to do, though. And maybe that's discussion for another time.
Yeah.
But they can do a lot with that, 50 plus million that LeBron is making to bring in pieces around Luka and potentially Austin Reaves. That's another factor here, is that the Lakers are going to have to decide if they want to pay full money that Austin Reaves is eligible for his extension. So it's going to be a very interesting offseason in LA. I I am actually betting on LeBron moving to a different team. I think if he goes to Cleveland, that's when we all kind of know maybe that the retirement tour is signaled, because that just seems like the perfect indicator that the story's coming to close. You know, there've been rumors constantly about joining the Warriors. I don't know if I buy that. I kind of think it's Cleveland or potentially staying in LA if he's willing to do it for less money. It's hard for me to imagine LeBron taking a super significant pay cut. So I guess we'll see what'll happen. I think we all three agree that LeBron's coming back next season.
Yeah, the Warriors are an interesting piece because, and I guess Cleveland for that matter too, because if he wins a championship with another team, I mean that's something that really sets him apart from every other great player. So maybe it's a challenge for him, right, to join the Warriors or the Cavaliers, and well, he wouldn't be the Cavaliers because he's already won with them. So it would have to be the Warriors or some other team that's close to a championship, um, and bring one home, and 4 different franchises, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, I think maybe it's equally impressive if and maybe more so if he goes back to Cleveland. Like 2 long breaks away from Cleveland and you won 2 titles for Cleveland. That would be, I certainly wouldn't project that happening even if he joined Cleveland at this point. But if it did happen, I mean, that's the ideal way he could exit the league and retire from the sport. I mean, with a title in Cleveland, I certainly, again, wouldn't predict that happening. I don't even know that pulls the Cavaliers into greater contention. But man, on his side of things, if it worked out that way, you might as well retire at that point because you've done so much. But Justin, another thing you kind of alluded to that I agree with is, LeBron's play for a long time in terms of elevating his greatness and his legacy has been the longevity and just purely how long he's been in the league. So, I could see us having this conversation once again next offseason too, is certainly a possibility. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. Justin, any other thoughts on LeBron?
Yeah, just curious, like, what is he chasing other than playing with his, other son? Like, what is motivating him? Because considering he has all the titles, and I mean, let's face it. I mean, we've talked about it since we began, rebooted Hoopsology. Is there's been the ghost of Michael Jordan. I mean, it's weird because he's still alive, but yet I think there's he's this ominous presence over the league, and it's a huge presence on LeBron's career. That if LeBron does win another title, for a lot of people, including myself, that's not going to change my mind in terms of, as long as I've been alive, who's the greatest player. I mean, we talked to Sam Smith. I mean, he's more indicative in terms of judging who's the greatest player of all time, seeing them all. But other than that, it's just going to be hard pressed to really change his legacy too much, just in terms of even if he wins another championship, I think it'd be pretty impressive. But I just think Jordan will forever, unless somebody just surpasses that feat of the 6 titles with, one team like that, 2, 3-peats, and just the way he meant to the league as well. It's just really hard to supplant that. So I'm just curious what his overall motivation is, in terms of his age and what he wants to do after basketball.
Yeah. Any speculations on that, Allan?
Yeah, that's a great question, Justin, because I don't know what is he chasing at this point. I mean, he'd need 3 more championships to eclipse Michael, and that's not happening. So what is the motivation other than playing with the Suns? And I mean, he's never struck me necessarily as like a baller. like a Kevin Durant, who I think will just keep playing until his legs, don't work anymore. There's some people who you can tell just play because they love it. And LeBron has always seemed like, I know he has joy in the game, but he always is very focused on like a business-like attitude towards it. And
Yep.
so what is he playing for then, if not for love of the game and, not to play with his sons? What other legacies are there for him to grab and and accomplish? So yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. I mean, it's a great question. I don't know the answer. I don't even know if he knows.
I think you're on something there. Yeah, I think you're on something there, Alan. And I think the answer could be potentially, just to speculate and, call me maybe a little cynical or something, but, a lot of LeBron's power and influence will go away once he is retired from the league. Not to say he can't do other things. I'm sure he can do just about anything he wants. I'm not sure he would want to really go the media route. He seems like such a legend that he might be above that. But you never know. Some might have thought Shaq would have been that way too. And of course he's a media darling. But I think LeBron staying in the league longer, he gets to keep that power and influence over the league itself. Let's be honest, that he's had for well over a decade now. You could argue over 2 decades at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think ownership might be in his future. I think those rumors are true, especially with the expansion with that Las Vegas team. I think that is in his purview within the next few years. And I have to say, Alan brought up, LeBron's, relationship with the game being more business-like, which I think there's a lot of credence to that. But I don't know. He has that podcast where we did. I think it's still going on with Steve Nash, just talking about those different aspects of basketball. I mean, he doesn't have to do that. I mean, they're talking pretty in-depth, nerdy stuff about the game of basketball. I think he does love the game. I think he really does in terms of just the psychological aspect. There's different things that like people don't see. I enjoy them actually getting into the weeds of certain things that you necessarily don't even see with different coverage that's on the major networks. They really get into it. So I think LeBron does have that love for the game, even when, he was doing the podcast with JJ Redick. But I feel you, Alan, at least it's kind of one of those things while he's like playing with the Lakers, I think that's where that business attitude comes out, where it kind of overshadows kind of his love sometimes. It's more of a just, I don't know. It's kind of like there's only one boss on the team that should be JJ Redick. He is the coach. But I feel like that's conflicting sometimes with, LeBron's vision of what the Lakers want to be. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see. But my guess is that with all of his entertainment endeavors, I think he has kind of a, we've seen Jordan do this, Magic Johnson's infamous doing this, Shaquille O'Neal that Matt brought up. I think he's going to be involved with a lot of business endeavors after he retires.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Justin, about his love for the game. I think it was a lot more evident when he was younger, and I think his longevity has worked against him here.
Good
The
point.
joy of youth has been replaced with the cynicism of age, like it does to all of us.
Yeah.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, that's well said.